I remember Shane pulling me aside when we were down at Warrnambool and saying to me, listen, if young Geordie ever gives just give him a good swift kick up the arse.
Alistair Clarkson recapping some stories, chatting to the Lewis family as Jordan Lewis came into his world a long time ago. This weekend he'll play his 319th game and final game of AFL football for the Melbourne Football Club. Four-time premiership player with the Hawks, of course, All-Australian, Peter Crimmins medal in 2014, the premiership year, and been fantastic for the D's as well. And he's had a good chance to say goodbye this week as he gets ready for that last game. He joins us on the Breakfast Club. Louis, good morning.
Well, it's only taken a retirement to get me on your show, huh?
Well, we've had you once, I reckon. I reckon we had you once.
Oh, yeah, about 1990.
And then you became a Fox Footy superstar and you ditched us.
No, that's not true.
I think it's the glasses. It might be the glasses. We don't just sort of roll that type of flashiness on our program.
We're line and length, Taz.
He's gone.
He's gone. We've lost him. You there?
That's
You
fantastic.
got it?
Hey, there he is. There he is. You've got us. You can hear us, can you? Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah, no, I'm good.
Righto, okay. Now, if it's been a big week, we had Isaac Smith in here yesterday, who's playing his 200th this week. And he was a bit flat that Clarko was at your presser and not his the other day. Have you had a chat to Isaac about this?
Well, they asked Isaac, when did he want his press conference to be? He found out that mine was at 1. He goes, well, if that's happening, there won't be too many at mine. I might put it on at the same time, which suits him.
That's actually what he said in the end. This week, though, for you, I mean, it's been an amazing journey. Have you had a chance to get in contact with a lot of people that have helped you along the way, or is that sort of something you'll plan to do after?
Oh, I've certainly had a heap of text messages come through and managed to reply to most of them yet. But
Except
yeah,
mine.
it's been a funny week. I suppose, Ruffy's retirement last week, and he had a function after his retirement, and we had a couple of beers at the Auburn Hotel. So you catch up with a lot of people, especially Hawthorn people.
Yep.
So that was a great way to sort of, rekindle and tick that part of it off. But yeah, certainly I think once the season's done and you can enjoy a few cold ones, it's always a good time to reminisce and catch up with people.
And Hobart on a nice warm Saturday afternoon. Perfect way to go out, Louis.
I couldn't, if I had a script there, I would have put that game down and penciled it in, which is, quite unique.
Well, grew up in Warrnambool, weather,
Right. Yeah, it's
similar,
cold. Similar.
possibly. We're stretching.
No
it.
Wales.
No Whalers.
No Wales.
Oh, no Wales.
No Wales.
Louis, I must be one of those ones where you're just getting back to that text message.
Yeah, absolutely. It's short and sharp. You know that.
Yeah. All right. Well, I look forward to having a DML. How is the DML going, actually? Peanut?
Really good. We haven't got too much left, which is nice. So, yeah, the hardest thing is actually just not drinking 2 or 3 bottles a night.
Louis, you've probably been asked this, 4 flags. There'd be many highlights. Have you got one that's a bit off-centre, or is it the premiership's the obvious way of looking at your career?
I think that's the obvious way, but I've always, people ask me what, the game that sort of sticks out in your mind, and I always say the prelim final 2013, just because of the history that we had with Geelong, clearly beating them in 2008, then they beat us nearly every game ever since, and then you come to a game that's so important to both sides, and for us to be down at three-quarter time and come back and win that game, it's a whole range of emotions swept over us on that night, and I suppose the biggest one was relief because we had been, dominated in a sense, not necessarily by big margins, but certainly win-loss record against them in the past.
And just the decision this week, Louis, was there any part of you that wanted to go on any stage through the year, or was this always going to be the outcome?
I think this was always going to be the outcome. The hardest thing that I suppose any professional player has to wrestle with is if they're fit and healthy at the end of the year, they tend to think they can go on, and I certainly feel all right, in terms of body, but, the mindset to do pre-season again and then, tackle the season and the ups and downs that provided, I certainly think that sort of side of the game I couldn't probably process. And ever since I've sort of retired, decided to retire, just the freedom of your mind and you're really happy in a sense that you can go on and enjoy the next part of your life.
So we had Ruffy, obviously, last week with his 6 snags, and the interview post-game was fantastic, just by the way. And he played all his career at the Hawks. Some people like that. Some people think it's great to get out and have a look. Upon reflection, is it one of the best things you did was get out and try another club and see what it was like elsewhere?
Yeah, totally. I think, I was quite fortunate in a sense that Hawthorn provided stability with the same coach, and we had the same doctor and the same physio, and a lot of it was really familiar. But for me to get out of my comfort zone, I suppose, and try a new environment and see what a different culture's like, and try and help a side that hadn't played finals for 12 years, that was a really big challenge for me and something that I'd never had done before. So, looking back, I certainly would have made the same decision. And I know it's funny, Hodgie, Mitch and I were speaking to Ruffy the other day, and we love how Ruffy puts it out there that he's proud to be a one-club player, but he doesn't know what he doesn't know.
That's true.
That's a very good point.
It's very true.
You've had a magnificent career, Geordie, and no doubt you'll reflect on it in due course. But what's next for Jordan Lewis? I know you've got some interest in the wine caper, and it's going beautifully, by the way. But also your media career is taking off. Have you thought about what's next, or are you just going to enjoy this next little bit?
No, I've certainly thought about what's next, and media will be the path that I go down next year, and I'm really looking forward to it. To be honest, as you know, mate, it gives you a little bit of spare time to focus on the other things, which being family and clearly the wine business is a business that I want to sort of get really going, and that excites me. The media excites me. I think I can sort of articulate what I'm seeing. I'm fresh out of the game, so that I think is important as well, and try and give an insight into what happens inside an AFL club. But I'll tell you one thing I won't be doing. I won't be doing the Centurion down at the Sereno pub. I don't think that I've got that in me.
What's a Centurion?
It's not that hard.
You got to 100 pods. Johnny did it in 1.5.
They give you 5 days.
5 days.
It's easy to knock off in 2.
Oh,
1.5 days.
Goodness gracious me. That's a man I don't want to be ever drinking with. I'll take your approach, I reckon, Taz. You deserve a big swan song and a big send-off this weekend in Hobart. You've been a fantastic player for 2 great clubs in the competition. We wish you the best of luck with the weekend, also what's going forward. Maybe one day you build yourself up to a media career where you can come on with us a bit more often.
Fingers crossed, mate.
Fingers crossed indeed. Jordan Lewis, champ from the Demons and the Hawks, saying goodbye to the game on the weekend down at Hobart against the Kangaroos. What a player he's been.
Great man too.
Good
very,
human.
very good man.
Very good career.
I've got a feeling he wants a piece of this action. This is what I'm...
Oh, yeah, no.
He's very good in his media stuff as well.
Yeah,
all
he's-
your Hawthorn cashies are in trouble. He's are in trouble.